Things just get better and better. I'd fallen asleep with my clothes on. That visit the previous night had shaken me more than I wanted to admit. Well, that must be Alice. The door's open. Come in. Hey, intern. Welcome.
Hello, Lars. Do you always leave the door open?
Yeah, of course. So the delivery boy can leave me the Harbinger at the door and I can do this? Hey, Alice, look at that.
Did they finally find Ramos?
Much better. Today, the Harbinger is giving out firecrackers to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of the opening of the newspaper.
You get excited over very little sometimes.
But it's a pop-up. One of those kinds that explodes if you throw it on the ground. So cool.
I was expecting different furnishings. You look more like a guy with a toilet in the bedroom.
Everything was more or less already like this when I got here. Hey, what do you mean by I look more like a guy? Well, at this point, I'd say it's best to leave behind the beating I gave you last night and focus on the job.
Are you talking about when the ball slipped and landed on my foot, or when you elbowed me in the stomach mimicking your Lars swing?
Well, I did get a strike, right?
Yes, in another alley.
Try to make yourself at home.
As I was trying to tell you yesterday evening, I couldn't trace any information about the man in Catherine's company, which is quite strange, considering that I have total access to all the government databases in the world.
But this can be explained in perfectly legal ways, and in any case, it doesn't help us with the investigation.
On the other hand, I found some information about the symbol appearing in the background, which identifies a company called Fallen Rose.
It doesn't sound familiar. What is it?
The company itself did business in many sectors, but the Miami headquarters specialized in building materials. From the archives, I couldn't find anything suspicious. All above board until they declared bankruptcy last year. But here's the kicker. Although the company is supposedly bankrupt, I found signs of recent activity by analyzing surveillance camera footage in the neighborhood.
So, they're still there. Maybe I could. Alice, I need access to that factory, this very day.
It could be risky, but I certainly won't stop you. I feel this case could really push my career years ahead. And by the way, my zealous detective, I think it's time you tell me everything you know about the case we're investigating.
All right. At this point, I can't deny you deserve it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. That is to say, the night I tracked down Ramos. This is, in broad terms, what pushed me to investigate the Molesberg case.
I'm still not totally clear on the relevance of the porn magazine.
Oh, that? Wait, I can explain that in more
Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's really absurd. How did you manage to get yourself involved in a case like this?
This could be my big chance at redemption, Alice. I'm not ready to surrender yet.
I get it, but now I better get back to the office. I really can't afford to be late.
I'll leave with you then. I expect this will be a very emotional day.
Well, see you later then.
Alice's contribution was crucial, giving me another lead to follow. An abandoned factory belonged to the Fallen Rose. I figured I should also swing by Nancy's. Maybe I would be able to talk to the mysterious homeless guy, Roger. Come to think of it, this was the day I was also supposed to have my interview with that leech Gwendolyn Pratt. I had serious doubts about what to do. Maybe it would be better to go back to Ramos's house to face that shrew. You are Roger the Tramp, aren't you?
Firstly, the term tramp is now considered inconsiderate, and the preferred nomenclature is homeless person or transient. Secondly, it is very rude to address a stranger by name without introducing oneself first.
I beg your pardon, but I didn't realize I was in the presence of the Baron of Sussex.
Do not be absurd, boy. I'm not the Baron of Sussex. I'm Duke Roger Emmerich Ravendish III from Derbyshire.
Yet you live on a bench and you have a torn shoe.
I also rummaged through the refuse, to be completely honest.
This guy was a real madman. Well, Duke Ravendish, May I ask you a few questions?
I am at your disposal, at least for the present moment.
So you are an actual nobleman.
The Ravendish family dates back to the 16th century, during the time of the controversial Henry VIII.
I can only wonder how an actual duke ends up living on the street.
I do not think my story would be of any interest to you, lad.
Do you remember where you were 2 nights ago?
At Chef Tony's, a modest 5-star restaurant located in the West Miami district.
You answered with extraordinary promptness.
I stick to my weekly schedule precisely. It's a carryover from my old life.
I see. Do you remember if you saw or heard anything strange?
Might you be a detective, young man?
Of course I am. Do you want to see my badge?
Your poor attempt at dressing like Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle's character is enough for me.
What's your point?
If you are a detective, it means that you are a representative of the authorities, or at least you are in contact with them. Ergo, you can help me save my camerops humilis.
Your what?
My dwarf palm. My shelter from the warm, sultry summer days in Miami. I have spent my afternoons basking in the shade of its leaves for years, and now it is at risk.
Explain.
Recent studies have revealed the presence of the red blatodia on these picturesque beaches, a disturbing and voracious insect that can prove lethal to these plants. My palm was judged to be sick, which was clearly a rush evaluation. Just a glance will suffice to see that it is in perfect health.
I think I understand what you're getting at, but I have to point out that someone could consider this an attempt at bribery.
I am not offering goods in exchange for a service. Any assistance would simply bring peace to my disturbed mind and therefore encourage me to remember.
That man was used to these kinds of negotiations. He sure knew how to bargain. All right, let's see what I can do for your palm tree.
Make that red mark disappear, and then you may ask what you will.
Don't leave the country, Duke Ravendish.
I would be reviled for doing so.
And this would be an abandoned factory? I'd underestimated the size of the matter. That building was huge, and I'd lose an entire day trying to inspect it completely. Plus, the place was being watched. I had to find a way to access it without being noticed by the guard. That man was the missing link between gorillas and Homo sapiens. Hello. Did you by any chance come from the future to stop android domination?
Huh? I don't understand what you're saying, mate. Who are you?
I am... Maybe it was best to use a fake name, given the circumstances.
Stallone! Like the cartoon they show every Thursday night! I like it a lot, especially when Clint kicks the bad guy's ass. I am Eugene, mate.
Meeting you is a huge pleasure, in all possible respects. So, what are you doing here all alone?
I'm guarding the fort, Mama says it's the job of responsibility.
Responsibility.
Exactly! Responsibility! Mama said if someone we don't like or is not our friend shows up and tries to enter,
You kick them out.
I break his back and throw him down the drain in the square. Every time this happens, Mama makes big laughs and buys me a bag of chips.
The innocence with which he confessed the atrocity left me without words. This Eugene was oblivious about being so dangerous. I heard you mention a certain Mama.
Mama Cecily! She gets angry when people call her Mama. She says it makes her feel old.
Is she your mother?
No, but she took me from the orphanscape and found this job for me.
Orphanage, Eugene.
Yes, Scorphanage.
And what's her line of work?
She tried to explain it, but I didn't understand. She says she loves working with other people's money.
Loan shark. They're criminals of the worst kind. And is she here now?
No, she comes later. First, she goes to find her girls to see if they're okay.
Better and better. She must be a barrel of laughs.
Imagine that once, when she was young, she took gas and matches and set fire to our school. Boom! The owner says it's because of that funny story that he gave this job to Mama.
So, this is a restricted area.
I don't know that word.
I mean, only certain people can enter here.
It's true. It works like that. Only those who are nice to Mama can enter. And that's just me, the owner, and the guy driving the truck. Ah, no. I broke the back of him last Thursday.
You really know how to have fun around here. What do you think about giving me a sightseeing tour around the factory?
Like when you're in those places with a guy talking weird. I never understand what they say, those guys, but I like them.
Let's play a game. I am a Japanese tourist and you're the nice guy talking weird.
I
The game is not started yet, Eugene.
don't know, Stallone. I'd really like to, but Mama would kill me.
I had to persist with Eugene. About the owner of the factory. He runs the place, does he?
Yes, he's responsible.
Responsible, Eugene. Can you describe him?
I'm not good at doing identity descriptions. He's not funny, though. Mama says he scares she, too.
Her, Eugene. Is this him, by any chance?
Yes, that's Redwad. Why do you got his photo?
Ah, well, he and I are old friends. I'd really like to enter and visit him.
Now he's out, but you can wait for him outside with me.
What a shame. I wanted to surprise him.
And jump out from a corner screaming boo? I'd really like to, but Mama would kill me.
At least now I knew the name of the mysterious character in the photo. Radwed. Let's suppose I managed to convince this mama to let me enter.
Yes?
Where would I find Radwed's office? This place looks huge.
I can't talk about this stuff with strangers. Last time I disobeyed, Mama punished me. Oh. She took away Bert, and the same night, she made me found his severed head on the bed.
Good Lord. Was it your dog?
My stuffed panda.
Well, it must have been a painful loss for you, nonetheless.
You can say that again, Stallone.
Getting back to us, are you sure you can't tell me anything? After all, nobody will ever know.
No, and again, no. I already suffered too much.
That information was useful. Even if I managed to enter the factory, I'd risk being seen roaming around without more detailed directions. I needed Eugene, so I had to deceive him somehow. So, you really loved your teddy bear?
A panda! It was a panda!
I have more important things to do than stay here to correct your grammar.
Bye, Stallone!
The HPD did a great job of wallpapering all of Miami with Ramos's ugly mug. The poster fluttered, held only by 2 little pins. It contained all the details about a missing little dog, including the promise of a reward. I saw a hole in the wall, right behind that fluttering poster. The manhole could have been a perfect gateway into the factory. The question was, how to get there. Alice held her own quite well with that computer, and I had started to rely on that.
Look at that, Jimby! The brave Lazarus Bundy has really come to see us!
I can't believe I'm actually here.
There, no reason to be upset. I can assure you you've made the best decision of your career.
I'll content myself with the assurance that you won't smear me out of turn.
Alright, so I'd say we've got everything we need to start rolling. Jimby, you can start recording.
Whoa, wait a second. Just like that, out of the blue, without preparing the questions a bit?
This is Gwendolyn Pratt reporting from the house of the serial killer Blowtorch, aka David Ramos. We have with us the detective in charge of the case, Lazarus Bundy. Good evening, Mr. Bundy.
Good evening.
Let's get straight to the point. Last night you were involved in a struggle with the dangerous individual who, we mustn't forget, is on the run. How would you describe this experience to our viewers?
I've had simpler cases. I mean, cases in which I didn't almost end up getting choked by a Neanderthal.
And here we see the human side of law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that behind this fearless appearance, such a fragile heart was hidden?
Fragile heart?
Where do you think Ramos is hiding right now?
If he's smarter than he seems, he'd have already left the city at high speed. Last night, I was just warming up with him. I can't wait to start the next round.
This makes me, and I'm sure all our viewers, feel safe. Let's cut to the chase, detective. How do you answer the accusations that you purposely let Blowtorch escape just to have someone to hunt down to keep your already at risk job?
Already a risk job? What are you talking about, you ugly witch?
It's no secret that you've just been fired, detective. Or I should say, ex-detective.
I wasn't covering up anything. I was fired specifically because...
Facts tell another story, Bundy. It seems you've been in difficult waters lately. That your alleged detective skills have been, how can I say it, deteriorated for quite a few months now. My understanding is that you haven't successfully closed a case for at least 6 months, ex-detective. How do you answer to this real data?
Enough, Pratt. I knew I was making a mistake coming here, but your lowness knows no bounds.
One more question, Bundy. Have you given any thought to your immediate future? I doubt that anyone will offer you work after what you... As you wish. I'm Gwendolyn Pratt. Back to you in the newsroom. I told you, Bundy. The important thing is not for the audience to have the absolute truth, just a plausible one. Have a good day.
Go to hell. I knew it was a bad idea to challenge Gwendolyn Pratt, the Queen of Mud. And so my decline in those previous months had become a matter of public domain. Anyway, who cared? My crisis had been leaked, yes, but not the real reason behind it. They could speculate, but the real truth was mine alone. And so Eugene was heartbroken over the loss of his stuffed panda. Could I use my little bear to entice him? How long since I'd last pulled it out from down there? My beloved Bobby. I called him that in memory of my grandpa, Roberto. That stuffed animal had been with me since I was 6.
Attention, monsieur!
Huh? Attention to what? You horrible brat!
I told you, the Harbinger today made us a really big favor with those firecrackers.
It almost sounds like a gunshot.
They should be illegal. They throw them on the ground, then they explode and we all jump in the air by fear. Where will we end up, I wonder?
At the morgue. Another prank like that and I'll have a stroke. And yet, I suspected that having one of those firecrackers in my pocket would help me in the future. That way, it would have looked like a panda. Eugene, I have a surprise for you.
What is it?
A brand new teddy bear, so you can forget the late bird.
Bert is not late. He's dead. And that is a very bad bear, not a panda like Bert. Bert had little paws and eyes surrounded by dark. Take it away. I don't want it.
Incredible. He was also demanding. With the proper modifications, I'd turn Bobby the polar bear into Bobby the panda. Eugene, I have a surprise for you.
Bert, you're alive.
I know a specialist doctor owed me a favor, and I asked him to help me. Do you want him?
Of course. Give him to me, please.
Business before pleasure. Can you tell me where to find Radwed's office inside this huge factory?
Enter the big door, take the alley towards the hand you're right with, climb the ladder, and you'll find it up there. Now give me my Bert, Stallone.
I knew Eugene was totally at my mercy then, and he would let me enter without making a fuss. Can I enter the factory?
No.
Oh, okay. So, here's Bert.
Bert!
I lingered a few moments to watch Eugene playing happily with a piece of my childhood, the only toy my father ever gave me. Parting with it was a bit like giving up a sweet memory. Hello.
Hi, Lars.
This time, I'm sure I've deduced the origin of that lock.
I'm starting to make you lose sleep over this. Bring it on.
So, I think the trauma is not due to your adolescence, but your childhood. The fact that you don't have a picture of your parents on the desk makes me think that you're not particularly interested in their approval. This is because of a family conflict in your background. Your father was a bad man, maybe a drunkard, who didn't spare any occasion to beat your poor mother. Time and fatigue weakened the woman, causing premature aging and the total whitening of her hair. Your lock is dedicated to her, your heroine.
Come on, knock it off. My mother works in a dry cleaners around the corner and still has long blonde hair. My father, on the other hand, is a retired detective, and he's still my role model, even today. I dare say he was probably a much better detective than you, given your performance.
So you think this will be enough to make me declare surrender? I'll be back for more soon. I've been to the factory you mentioned this morning, and you know what, Alice? That place is anything but abandoned.
Which makes it a real lead, instead of the potential dead end that it seemed.
The problem of sneaking inside remains, though. The place is guarded by the last descendant of a race of prehistoric giants. Yet I think I found a possible access point. You can hold your own with that hellish thing, can't you?
I'm usually able to find out more than an average person can learn about their spouse by rummaging through their wallet.
Remarkable. Could you provide me with a map of the, Alice, I know it may seem strange, but I need a map of the city sewers, with a marked path that will lead me from a certain starting point to an end one.
You want to go through the sewers? Such elegance. Give me 2 minutes. All right, I already found an up-to-date map and I marked the coordinates for the old factory. It wasn't easy. I had to hack the server of the Miami municipality, upload a worm that would hide my IP from the IT controllers, and finally download all the updated floor plans for the sewers.
And you did all that in 20 seconds?
I'm messing with you. I just loaded the appropriate site and found a recent map. Are you sure you want to sneak through the sewers all alone? With or without a map, it is still a dark and smelly labyrinth.
Recently, I met a kid that could prove useful.
Let me know what you find in there. And most of all, be careful. I have a bad feeling.
You bet. Bad feeling is my middle name.
That would be 2 names, Lars.
Yeah, that doesn't quite work, does it?
Not really. But wait, you could say, bad feeling is my nickname instead.
Great. Bad feeling sounds fearsome as a nickname, doesn't it? See you later, partner.
Bye, Lars.